Hey, what is up, people? It has been more than a minute since I've uploaded a commentary for you guys, but I got some extra free time tonight. The Black Ops 3 servers are acting like a little bitch on PS4 right now, so I thought I'd make a video for you guys. So first and foremost, though, I just want to say, I recently hit 3 separate milestones within the past few weeks. A few weeks ago, I reached 1 million total views on my YouTube channel, which is pretty crazy to think that people have watched my videos over 1 million times. That's nuts. The next milestone I hit, which was just a couple days ago, I hit 1,000 Twitter followers. I'm not even the most super cool dude on Twitter. I don't have the funniest pictures or the best links to all the craziest news, but it's still pretty cool that over 1,000 people find me interesting enough to follow me. And last but certainly not least, my YouTube channel just hit the mark of 4,000 subscribers. It's been growing faster than ever before, and I can't thank you guys enough for all the support, all the comments, all the likes, and everything. It's just so awesome. So thank you guys. I'm loving this YouTube grind. It's a great hobby for me. I love doing it. Keeps me busy, you know, on my free time. Keeps me out of trouble. I'm really digging it, and I'm just super stoked that there's at least 4,000 of you guys who dig it too. So that's pretty sweet. But anyways, on to the topic for this video. I'm going to talk about network outages, and you know, typically for a video like this, I would pull up a bunch of screenshots or links to show facts and proof of this and that and blah blah blah. But I really don't feel like getting into all that stuff right now, because basically I just want to talk about my own experience with the PlayStation Network and, you know, sort of related things to that. Now, this stems from my Twitter feed today, which is chock full of people complaining that PlayStation Network is down. So whenever I see a report that PSN is down, I will pull up my phone, I'll load up the PlayStation app, and I always check 4 key features, which, if the network is truly down, these features should not and will not load. So today I saw some reports, the PlayStation Network is down, people are having problems getting on, blah blah blah. So I load up the app, I check my trophies, they loaded right away. I check my friends list, that's number 2. They loaded right away. I saw people online playing Destiny, Black Ops 3, Battlefront, a couple people on the Rainbow Six beta, etc, etc. I open up my messages, that's the 3rd thing, they loaded right away. And the last thing I check is the PlayStation Store, and it did take a little while. It took about 10-15 seconds, but it did load, and it worked just fine. Now, this seems to happen every single time I see reports of PSN being down. Either I see a report being down and I'm online playing, and I'm like, okay, this kind of doesn't make sense, or I'll be at work or somewhere and, you know, I'll see a report that is down, and I'll pull up the app and I can sign on online, access everything PlayStation Network related, and it just works fine. But like, I'm just wondering, like, am I the lucky one all the time? Like, within the past year, my personal PSN has been down 2 times. Okay, 2 times, that's it. And I've seen reports of it being down several times, way more times than that. But once was last year during the DDoS attack over Christmas from Lizard Squad. And the second time it was down was a brief stint in the summer, back in like late June or early July. But it only lasted maybe like a half hour, if I remember correctly. And from my recollection, Lizard Squad claimed responsibility for that one as well. However, back in March of this year, the network apparently went down, and it was also credited to Lizard Squad, yet everything seemed to be working fine for me during that supposed outage as well. So it just kind of doesn't make sense why it seems like it goes out for, you know, everybody is basically what these, you know, websites and stuff are reporting, and people are complaining, yet it always just seems to work for me for some reason, and people on my friends list. So yeah, what's the deal? Like, apparently it went down today, yet like I said, I was connected, people on my friends list were connected, you know. Most of the posts that I did see on Twitter today were mostly from Xbox fans talking shit about PS4, like, ha ha ha, maybe our games are only 900p, but at least our online works. And I mean, that's just childish shit, but I mean, everybody does it. Like, I'm not gonna play innocent victim here or anything like that, but I'm sitting there like, you know, my online works too. Like, I'm online, so what are you laughing at me for? And I mean, what the hell do you say when your network doesn't work? Because we all know that happens too. We're not gonna hide it, we're not gonna pretend the Xbox Live doesn't go down as well. So, I mean, talking shit like that back and forth is just kind of stupid, to be honest. Most of the time, from my perspective, I mean, everybody's gonna have a different perspective on things, but most of the time I see people complaining about the network being down, they seem to be from South America or the Middle East, or like Australia, like a lot of the places that aren't as populated with PlayStation users. Sometimes the UK as well, even though the UK is pretty heavily populated with UK users. But I don't often see people from North America having troubles. Although, of course, it does happen. It happens everywhere, of course, but it's just not often I see North American people complaining about network outages. Now, I have a theory as to why the network goes down at specific times, and as I said, I don't have any proof or evidence to back anything like this up. I didn't feel like looking anything up or anything like that or doing any research, but this is just a theory, but I think it has to do with surges, and of course I'm talking about things aside from DDoS attacks and things like that, but surges like waves of people getting on all at once. For example, like today's Black Friday, and a buttload of people bought a PS4 today. So that means there's going to be a buttload more people signing onto the networks all at once. Then you got games like Black Ops 3, which is super popular, doing double weapon XP all weekend. So a lot of people are trying to get on to grind that out. And you have Rainbow Six beta happening. Also, people are getting on to play that. And then you have flash sales in the PlayStation Store and yada yada yada. It's just a lot for the network to handle. So I just think it's times like this where it gets kind of overloaded and it basically just crashes. Now, for all of you who can't get online during these times, I'd really hate to be in your shoes. I mean, we're all paying for this service now, so when you can't use it, it's kind of a kick in the face from Sony. It's probably what it feels like. Like before, during the PS3 era, we weren't paying for it, so when it went down, there really wasn't any legit grounds to complain. But now, since we're investing into it, we should all be getting a service that works when we want it to. And this goes for Xbox Live as well. I mean, regardless of fanboy bullshit, like I said, when you listen to me, you're going to hear real talk. I'm not playing favorites. I'm not letting Xbox Live get a free pass just because certain Xbox owners refuse to admit the issues that it has. I mean, it doesn't work for me that way. They both have issues. They both have downtimes. And, you know, they both could use improvement. But there's something that I keep seeing people post that, to be honest, it's kind of irks me a little bit. And that's when I see people posting, you know, the tweeting at Sony saying, fix your servers. And it's often said with curse words and just a severe bad attitude behind it. And I know these network downtimes can be frustrating for people, but I don't understand when people say fix your servers. Like, they think there's some giant magic button with the word fix on it at Sony headquarters, and whenever the network has issues, they just press the magic button and all is better. Like, it's not exactly that simple. I mean, the process for maintaining, troubleshooting, and, you know, fixing these types of things is probably far more technical than any of us can really even understand. I mean, I personally don't have any experience monitoring or maintaining any type of server. I know people who do, yet it's on an extremely small, tiny, minuscule, microscopic scale compared to Sony or Microsoft, who has to manage servers on a worldwide basis to nearly 100 million users. I mean, I don't know. I just don't see the need to blame Sony and, you know, point fingers at them. And I know I sound like I'm defending them, but that's not what this is. This is just real talk, right? Like, basically, when your internet at your house goes down, do you call your service provider and start blaming them like it's their fault? Maybe you do, but realistically, they most likely didn't cause the problem, and realistically, they're probably doing everything in their power to restore it as fast and efficiently as humanly possible. Now, everyone always says these companies only care about our money and shit like that, and although that's true to an extent, it's not entirely true. They do care about us. They care about what we want. They care about what we like, what makes us happy, and all that stuff, because the happier we are as customers, the more money we will end up giving them. So I think it's dumb to think companies like Sony and Microsoft and whoever else aren't investing time, resources, money, manpower, all that into their networks to make sure they're running as well as they can and to make sure they're fixed promptly when errors occur. It's basically in their best interest as a business to keep the customers happy. So even though there's no giant magic button with the word fix on it, you best bet that whenever a report comes in that the network is down, there are engineers at Sony or Microsoft or wherever who are on the case trying to figure out where the problem is and solve it as fast as they can. Anyways, I guess I rambled on about this enough. Let's see. Let me know in the comments below if you guys suffer from a lot of outages. Whether you're on Xbox or PlayStation or both, maybe you can gauge, tell me which one's out more for you if you play both platforms equally. And also tell me what part of the world you're from. If you're going to comment, I don't know if that'll lead to anything, but if I get enough responses, maybe I can use the data for a future video, maybe. I don't know. But that's it, guys. Thank you again for 4K subs. That's pretty crazy. It's been awesome, and I hope we can make it to 5K, then 6K, all the way up to 100K and beyond. But that's it for me for now, guys. I'm Vile Self. Later, villains.